Hi, my name is Jim Scher, and I want to show you my Little Wing auto gyro I got. My runway's up the top of the hill up here. That's the little taxiway we drive up to get up there. And then this is the hangar for it right here. So come on in. Now I gotta get the key. It's going to be kind of dark in here.
It lightens up.
So here's the Little Wing. Let's see, I guess I can open the door, then we can see it a little better.
It's actually showing pretty well.
Is it?
Yep.
I made this little dolly. This is so you can kind of clamps onto the tail wheel there, and you can push it around with this. See, it's got this little screw here you loosen up, and you can take that off. But it makes it easy to move it around. And then I wanted to show you this. These are the kind of hold the blades for moving it around, but you can move this lever here. See, it grabs the. Oh, it's looking like they've been on all winter. There, see? I'll take it off and show you. See here, where you move this. See, it makes the top open and close. You see it?
Mm-hmm.
There's little rubber pads there, so it kind of clamps onto the blade for you. And there's one in the front, one on the bottom, and they're real handy for. I can actually, put the gyro on a trailer and haul it down the road with these on it, and it holds the blade stiff. Most of the time when I'm flying in the flying season, I don't put it back on, but it's just nice to have them on there. It kind of holds the blade up through the winter and for storage like that. And actually my house is down the road about a half mile, and I have a little hitch that the tail wheel sits in that hooks on the back of the tractor, so I can pull the whole thing down to the shop if I need to work on it.
Oh yeah, very handy.
Yeah, so that's mostly what the blade box is for.
Tell us about the cockpit.
Cockpit. Oh, you can see the gauges. You see the gauges? Most of them, the fuel gauge is pretty useless. I put that in, but you really don't fly by the fuel gauge. You really need, there's a visual sight on the side of the fuel tank, and you kind of know how much fuel you have and where you're going. I wouldn't ever trust one of those. So that I probably did need, and this is an amp meter. You probably don't need that either. A light would be fine to let you know that the charging system's working. Let's see what else we got. This is the lever for the pre-rotator. It's got a hydraulic pre-rotator.
Which works pretty good, huh?
Yeah, that works good. And this cap, I'll take this off and you can see it's got the Rotex 912 on here. We actually started out with a Werner motor, which is made in, where is it made? Austria? I forget. But it was a Werner 2-cylinder, 4-stroke, like a boxer motor. But it didn't have the power, and it vibrated, and they're not very good engines. So I was lucky enough to find one of these that was affordable. It was on a powered parachute that I bought. And this is the 80 horsepower version, but it works, with this machine it works quite good. It's got plenty of power and seems to work pretty good.
You don't want to be under horsepowered.
No, I don't want to be under horsepower. Here's the hydraulic pump for the pre-rotators right here. And the reservoir for the oil is right here for the hydraulic pump. That I messed around with. You need a good reserve. If you got enough oil in there, you won't, otherwise the pump tends to cavitate. But that seems to be working pretty good now too. Trying to think what else. The oil tank for the motor is behind the firewall, which most of them, I guess, they have the reserve oil tanks are out for the motor. But this one I put in behind the firewall. I was trying to keep the motor, shorter to the airframe. Just trying to keep it back in there a little bit more.
Does it keep the oil cooler?
Oh no, it's got an oil cooler right here.
Okay.
It keeps the cockpit warm because the oil tank gets warm. Not in the summertime, you probably don't want it, but
Little bit of heat.
yeah, a little bit of heat comes off it. That thing's still going, huh?
Beautiful plane.
Well, I guess that's good, huh?
Yep.
So, there it is. Thanks for visiting.